That lady grabbed that pickpocket's ponytail and said, "Play with me if you want to."
A pickpocket in Europe got caught by an American mom. And hey people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So this story is about a American tourist that went to Europe, to Venice, and while they were there and touring, I think they were about getting to their Airbnb and they got pickpocket. But the video that went viral was a video of the American woman, okay, holding one of the pickpocket girl, which probably look really young. She looks like a young girl. Not sure how old she is, but she had this girl on with her hair, like literally the ponytail of the girl's hair was wrapped in her hands, and she was like, "Where is my passport?" And you could see the girls were trying to get themselves defense, but it was not budging. It was not budging. And this has struck the entire conversation of how American tourists are not the ones to be messed with, especially with pickpocket messing with around with American tourists. And people are saying that American tourists, especially in Europe, when they catch pickpockets, like the mess is messy, like they don't even play that way, and that they go crazy. But yeah, we'll go check out this clip, and then we're going to hear the woman that this happened to. Our daughter came online to share the story of what exactly happened, and then people's reaction to the entire story, and then I'll come back and share my thoughts.
You stole my purse with my passport in it. Police, look, police.
Oh, yeah.
Little girl, I have 8 kids. You're not getting to me. Call them. Okay. You're the one speaking. That's right. Let's get the police. And maybe I'll get my passport back. I don't even care if you keep the cash. I don't even care if you keep the cash. Thank you, sir.
For those of you that saw this video here of my mom, this is the story time behind how she stopped the pickpocketers that stole her purse. Okay, so my mom and stepdad were going on a trip to Venice to jump on a cruise ship and do a Mediterranean cruise. They're currently on that cruise, so my mom sent me some text messages that'll pop up here, and just to explain the story of how she stood on 10 toes and stood business against these girls. So they arrive in Venice and they leave the airport, they go to their Airbnb, and as they're crossing the bridge to get to their Airbnb door, these 3 girls crowd my mom, and she has an idea of what's going on. Like, she knows to look out for pickpocketers. And then as she finally makes it to the Airbnb door, she realizes that her book bag that was on her back was unzipped, and they stole her purse and her water bottle. This is important to note. Her water bottle was a metal water bottle that was stolen out of her bag, and then her purse had her passport, her credit cards, cash, her AirPods. So she was frantic trying to get this back. Her and my stepdad immediately started tracking her purse through her AirPods on Find My Friends, and they were able to track it down back to those 3 girls, because my mom already knew, like, these people must have been it, and then she saw them with, like, the bag. So she goes and chases them down, and she grabs one of the girls by her ponytail and does not let go. So 2 of the girls stay. One of the girls runs away with my mom's purse. So my mom stays with the girl, still holding her ponytail, waiting for the police to arrive. The Airbnb host was really kind and supportive of, like, helping my mom get her stuff back, calling the police. Apparently these girls were pretty well known for being pickpocketers, and people that lived there in Venice knew of who they were, and they were causing a lot of trouble. So then my stepdad went and followed the Find My Friends of, like, where the AirPods were going throughout the city. So my mom in the video, as you saw, was relentless on getting her stuff back. She wanted at least her passport. She said she didn't care about any of the other stuff in the bag, but she just at least wanted her passport so she could get home. And the people that were there were so kind. The Airbnb host, the owners of the jewelry shop next door were kind enough to stand there and help her ensure that she was able to get her stuff back and hold these girls accountable. The police officers came and they were about to arrest these girls when the girl that had the bag over her shoulder went and swung it and hit my mom in the head. And in the bag was that metal water bottle that they took from my mom. So my mom had a massive like gash on her head and it was bleeding everywhere. She got a black eye from it, and the girls were arrested, and then my mom had to go to the hospital and get some stitches. Whoa. Meanwhile, my stepdad was still chasing down the AirPods. That last girl hopped on a train and went right back to the airport, where they then left the purse at the US liaison office. They were able to contact the local police in North Carolina and have a police officer actually go to their house, where the neighbors were there just like by luck, and ended up calling and like notifying my parents that the US like passport that she had was there at the airport. So my stepdad got her passport back and her credit cards. They did take the AirPods and the cash, unfortunately, but my mom didn't care about any of that as long as she was able to get home at the end of the day. So then he met my mom at the hospital where she got some stitches, and then they made their way back to where the Airbnb was to finally get a good night's rest before they were supposed to go out on their cruise. So when they made it back to their Airbnb host was so kind, making sure that she got back okay. The jewelry shop owner next door ended up gifting my mom this really beautiful necklace, as you can see here. And yeah, she just continued to emphasize how generous and kind the people were of Venice that stayed like to help her. Amongst like the frustration she had for these girls that stole from her, everyone else in the community there was still just so kind and like trying to help her get her stuff back. So yeah, that's a little bit about my parents' story, but here is a picture of them they wanted to share with everyone. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
That lady grabbed that pickpocket's ponytail and said, "Play with me if you want to." My question is, if y'all as in foreigners, y'all as in other people from other countries, if y'all already have us in your minds as aggressive, crazy, uneducated dum-dums who wield and beat people up all the time, why would you try to steal from us? If I knew that somebody was crazy, if I had evidence, right? Because I'm not going to lie, if I was on the outside looking in, I would think that we're crazy too. If I had evidence that these are crazy, do you think I would reach into their pocket? And this is not the first time that I've seen an American beat up a pickpocket. Y'all remember during the Olympics how many stories there were of people beating ass? Because who do you take us for? And with all the questionable shit that has been going on here at home, this is the first time I felt patriotic in a minute. So shout out to you, Miss Thane.
When are Europeans going to realize to stop pickpocketing Americans? Because there was this American lady who got her passport pickpocketed, and she went and found the girl who did it, and she dragged her by the ponytail. And she was not letting go either. Like, they were in the middle of the street, and you just see her, like, ripping the life out of the pickpocketer's ponytail. And I feel like I've seen this story way too often of, like, Americans getting pickpocketed in another country, and then all of a sudden they turn the tables and they beat their ass. Because, like, do we not remember what happened? What was that, like, the Paris Olympics, where, like, pickpocketers genuinely were getting beat up because they were pickpocketing Americans? Because the thing about pickpocketing is that it is not a thing in America, and it's mainly because of two reasons: and crazy people. Because obviously in America, people have a lot of, right? So you're not going to risk your life trying to pickpocket somebody. Like, you know, if anything, you're just going to get robbed with it. But also, if you try and pickpocket somebody, more likely than not, you will just get your ass beat because people have nothing to lose. And because of that attitude, when an American gets pickpocketed in another country, they still have the, oh, I have nothing to lose, you know, attitude. So they will find you. And look, I know America, we have a bunch of issues, yes. But the one thing we do not play about are pickpocketers, right? Because you will get your ass beat.
Am I the only person who saw the video of the American person who was in Venice with her family and she was getting pickpocketed and they actually did something and the pickpocket was surprised? I think it's just great for pickpockets in general to steer clear of anyone that they think is even remotely American. Do y'all not remember during the Olympics when the French government had to release a statement saying, hey, Americans, don't mollywop the pickpockets? Which is crazy because you would think the thing that they would lead with would be, hey, pickpockets, steer clear of the Americans. No, we don't play that over here. Like, we all have gone through too much. We work too hard. Do you hear us complaining about how everything is against us? Corporate America, the government, each other. Like, we are trying our hardest, and you think that you are just going to walk up and take from us in our face? You're going to play in our face. Is that what you think is going to happen? Do you have any idea what goes on around here? How some people are literally walking around strapped? Have you lost your minds?
The Venice pickpocketing situation is absolutely killing me. I don't know why these people keep trying to mess with American moms. Someone tried to pickpocket my mom once. My mom, my daughter, and I were all on vacation. We were walking a little bit ahead of her. She had stopped to take a picture, and I turned around. She had this guy snatched up by the collar and was poking him in the chest so hard that I'm sure he probably still has bruises. Now let me set the scene for you a little bit. My mom's 6'1". She grew up in the country. This guy was like 5'6". I don't know why he picked her to be his target. My mom has not been a target a day in her life. Listen, even all of her kids know we don't mess with Beverly. She is the nicest, sweetest person, but don't push her. We grew up with a healthy dose of fear in our household. Anyway, she had him by the chest, by the collar, like this. Pretty much off the ground, because he was a little guy, poking him in the chest, proceeded to hold him there. My daughter and I had walked back, proceeded to hold him there by the collar until she went through all of her belongings to make sure they were there. I really hope he learned his lesson in that moment.
I don't support anyone pickpocketing anyone, but if you're gonna do it anyways, may I suggest not pickpocketing Americans? Because it's not gonna go well for you, and I would know, because last time I was in Paris, I saw someone attempt to pickpocket an American, and they got absolutely humiliated and humbled. So I was on the Metro Underground thing in quite a touristy area in Paris, and I was sitting down, and right across from me were these 3 blonde women, and it was quite obvious to me that they were American just because they were talking really loud in American accents. Nonetheless, as I'm sitting there, I see this short lady come up to this group of 3 women, and she's got like a big floppy hat on and glasses, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, like we're underground, why do you need that? But I kind of brushed off, and I assumed that she's part of their group. Moments later though, I noticed this short lady slyly reaching her hand into one of the blonde women's bags and like snatching a phone and then going back for more, and I'm like, oh my god, she's a pickpocket. And I get up to like warn these ladies. But before I could say anything, I hear one of the other blonde girls yell in her Valley Girl accent, pickpocket! I kid you not, this group of 3 women went from a group of like sorority girls to a military unit. Immediately, 2 of the girls grabbed this lady's arms, one on each arm, holding her back from running away, and they did it so fast, it was almost like they trained for this. So as this pickpocket lady is getting held back, the blonde woman that actually got pickpocketed starts interrogating her. She was just like, so, where's my phone? And the pickpocket lady was like, I don't know. This blonde woman then starts pacing back and forth with her arms crossed, and she's just like, you know, it's not nice stealing people's stuff. And then her friends holding her back agree with her, and they're like, yeah, it's not nice stealing people's stuff. The pickpocket lady has a look of absolute terror. Even I was a little scared. I was like, what are these women about to do to her? This blonde woman then takes the floppy hat off of the pickpocket lady and then puts it on herself. And she goes, how's it feel to get your stuff stolen? And then she takes the glasses off of the pickpocket lady, then she puts it on herself, and she's just like, feels good, right? And I thought this lady looked terrified before. Without the glasses, she looked horrified. Anyways, eventually this woman does take her phone back, and I'm thinking like, oh, once she gets her phone back, they're gonna let this lady go. Update, they do not let her go. They continue restraining her until they get to the next station, where they walk her off the train. And I distinctly remember as they were getting off the train, one of the women going, we are taking you to the authoritorium. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it, but whatever. So yeah, just don't mess with Americans. It's more trouble than it's worth. Also, let me know if y'all have any experiences with American tourists getting pickpocketed, because I know this is not an isolated experience. I've seen so many videos online of American tourists just absolutely humbling pickpocketers.
Oh my goodness, this is a good one. But anyway, you guys go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation, this story down in the comment section. But as always, keep it respectful here on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thought. Love to know what you think. Okay. For me, like the Americans in the house, please, you guys let me know if you think, if you agree with, like, okay, Americans are the ones not to pickpocket. But come, let's even think about it. Apparently, this pickpocket thing is really a thing in Europe. Even though I've not been there, they said it's a really big thing. And there's this pickpocket video where people alert people when there's a pickpocket, and usually they're usually younger, like really young people in, and they work in group, like large number of groups, sometimes 5 6 of them, and they pass on your item. um when it comes to the way the mom, the American woman, had the girl, you could clearly see she said, oh, when the girl was like, just like, yeah, I have 8 kids. Like, you're not going to phase me. I have 8 kids at home. I can deal with them. I'll deal with you. And you could clearly see that that mom feistiness, like, those screaming is not going to cut up on me. But it's really interesting how, like, these are some of the safety tips as a traveler, like the air tags were what really got them to be able to trace our stuff back. So I think I should get like some type of air tags too, because I can only imagine losing your passport in a foreign country. That would be so crazy and so scary, because that means you'll be stuck there for a long time before you could get home. So yeah. um the mom doing what she did, yeah, I just feel like the crazy stories. If you guys want more crazy story about Americans being pickpocket, you guys let me know. I'll probably try and do something. But yeah, there are a lot of crazy stories about Americans that are being pickpocketed in Europe and how they deal with it. And usually, mm-mm. And I agree. I feel like people should be careful, because an average American, in my personal opinion, because of the way their society is from, where some people are allowed to carry, or some people carry and all that, like, why do you want to even mess up with people like that? Like, okay, why would you want to do that to yourself? But anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think about this story down in the comment section. Go ahead and share your thought. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.